7 and 36. The bonus ball was number 11. And it's 2 minutes past 11.
News Talk Sport.
The Ireland rugby squad is relocating to New Plymouth ahead of our World Cup opener there against USA on Sunday. The players have switched to New Zealand's North Island from their pre-tournament base in Queenstown as they prepare for their opening game in Pool C. Head coach Declan Kidney will wait until Friday before naming his side for the game, but is expected to name as close to his first choice team as possible. Cian Healy's unlikely to be risked, while Gordon Darcy also remains a doubt. But Sean O'Brien allayed any fears over his knee injury when he took part in a full training session earlier. Speaking on Off the Ball on News Talk, former Ireland captain Keith Wood said that O'Brien should play if he's in any way fit.
You just have to have O'Brien out there and just hope that his injury is, to be honest, he's not the sort of guy you'd worry about. He has that sort of mentality and attitude. You know, I'd love to have played with him. He's just a big, tough guy with great skill and great heart, a good kind of agricultural sort, you know, and I think he'll do an awful lot of damage, because if he carries the ball the way he can set a platform for a lot of other players.
And our World Cup coverage is brought to you with thanks to Volkswagen, the official car partner of the Irish rugby team, driving Ireland forward. In football, Ireland manager Giovanni Trapattoni believes that Tuesday's scoreless draw against Russia has furthered his claims for a contract extension from the FAI. The veteran manager has already stated his ambition to continue at the helm, even if he's required to take a significant pay cut, although the FAI have so far declined to finalise a deal. Trapattoni says that he and his management team have shown why they deserve the chance to help the side qualify for Brazil 2014, but admits the development of the team remains a work in progress. And in tennis, Rafa Nadal, Andy Murray and Andy Roddick have expressed their disappointment with US Open officials after play was suspended in New York once again. Organisers are struggling to get back on schedule after the loss of almost 2 days because of persistent rainfall. Defending champion Nadal had lost the opening 3 games of his 4th round match against Gilles Muller of Luxembourg when they were forced off. The Spaniard then joined Murray and Roddick to complain about the damp conditions they were being forced to play in and accused organisers of not caring enough about player safety. The quarterfinals involving Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer have already been postponed. For News Talk Sport, I'm Kia Mursa.
News Talk Weather with Crown Paints. 200 years of knowledge and experience in every drop. Crown, it's not just paint, it's personal.
Further outbreaks of rain tonight, but it'll become light and intermittent as the night goes on. Quite mild with lowest temperatures between 10 and 13 degrees. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
That's something to do with Holland.
Welcome back there. The dulcet tones of Bill Tormey there and the background banter we were having during the news break. We're back on Coleman at Large. This is Mark Coleman. Keep your text coming in on 53106. I was suggesting before the news break that one simple, easy way to do the job of debt forgiveness was just give the money back to stamp duty. About 3.5 billion euro in residential stamp duty went from the household sector to the state during the boom, and that produced one text. Mark, are you saying millionaires who bought a mansion should get stamp duty refunded? It's a fair question. I guess, texter, you could cap it at a certain level. Having said that, if the money was taken off taxpayers and wasn't used very well, and there's a strong argument for from now on saying, look, if the state wastes your money, you should get it back. It's like going into a shop. If you buy a product and it's defective, you should get your money back. If we as taxpayers are forced to pay for products that don't work, government policies that are incompetent, we should get the money back. And maybe we shouldn't discriminate as to whether the person giving the money was rich or poor. Bill?
Mark, are you seriously talking about this? You're not writing a piece for Private Eye, are you? Because there's a column in Private Eye called Major Bonkers.
No, this is a great idea, but it's called hypothecated taxes.
I know, but I just think it's completely and utterly absurd. Retrospectively, you're going to say to the Germans who are funding us at the moment that, 3.5 billion, we actually got this off our taxpayers, and because we screwed it around, we're going to hand it back to them. Mark, is this mad?
No, Bill, it's not mad. I'm saying the taxpayers, the house people were forced to pay a tax simply for the privilege of buying a family home. That's outrageous, number one. Number two, they should get the money back because the money was wasted on pay increases which were outrageous. We've seen evidence of that the last couple of days. Number three, we can fund that repayment by selling off state assets which we all agree the state has no business owning.
Mark,
sell ESB for 4 or 5 billion, give a whole chunk of that back to the taxpayers of this country.
No, I totally disagree with you. I think that is ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous?
Because the government is elected to govern, and if the government makes a complete mess of governing, that's the business of the people who elected them in the first place. And in a democracy, they have the choice of reversing that at the next election.
But we don't. All political parties stand for the same things. They all cluster around what the vested interest wants. They never represent the taxpayer bill. That's a delusion. You're delusional. You think government represents the people. It doesn't. It represents vested interests, and you know it.
I know some of it, and Fintan O'Toole had a piece on it yesterday. I step in, Lanigan's ball in politics, but I step in and you step out again. But I just want to say this, Mark, I think your idea of handing back the tax, the stamp duty that was taken in property is just barking mad. I just tell you, it is ludicrous.
So you want the state to keep that money? As householders who have negative equity.
I'm looking at you, John.
You're a hospital consultant. You're earning $250,000 a year. It's easy for you to say.
I'm not earning $250,000 a year.
Well, you're earning a damn good salary off the back of the taxpayer. There's people in the private sector and frontline public sector workers out there who are subsidising that salary, which I'm sure you deserve, by the way. I'm sure you're worth every cent of it. They are struggling to make ends meet. And I am saying, give back to those people the money, 30,000, 40,000 the state took off them. You've no business taxing people simply because they want to buy a house.
I'm disagreeing with you entirely.
You think the state exists to fund your lifestyle and the life of all those people at the top end of the public service? My view is taxes have been robbed off people to fund a useless state, an overpaid state. It's time for taxpayers to stand up and demand the money back.
Look, the money that you're handing back to people is not there to be handed back. As far as I remember...
Privatise semi-state assets, sell them off and generate the funds bill.
No, you can't. We're already borrowing 17 billion this year.
Sell the semi-states bill. Sell them.
I don't agree with all of that. I'm trying to say to you that is mad, Mark.
Why is it mad to privatise? Every socialist governments are privatising.
I'm not talking about that.
The Spanish socialist government is privatising assets. Why don't we sell them off and give them money back to the taxpayer? I agree we send off a whole lot of things, but just hold on for 1 second. I'm trying to deal with this debt forgiveness thing in mortgages. And I'm saying to you that if the banks can get out of this for 5 to 7 billion, and given that there's 115 billion of mortgages in the state, if we, with bad mortgages and everything else that are going on and people's problems, if we can get out of this through negotiation with individual people, through a multifaceted approach here of equity, of write-offs, of graduated, hypothecated write-off over a period of time so that the family home doesn't disappear, all of these sort of schemes, it is far better than madcap schemes trying to say to people that at the end of the day we'll all give you back your stamp duty. Bill Tormey thinks giving you back your taxpayers' money is madcap and crazy. All I can say to you, Bill, much as I love you, you are showing why you didn't get elected at the last general election. You are showing. And if you don't change your tune, you'll never get elected. And I think that'd be a shame, because I think you got a lot to offer now. Richard Corbett, who is advisor to the European Council President Manuel Barroso, today said the euro needs, quote unquote, a higher level of convergence. The solution to the euro crisis is apparently more fiscal federalism in Europe. Mark McCutcheon, as a tax expert, do you think that the issue of tax harmonisation could be back on the agenda pretty quickly for Ireland, particularly given the IMF is saying all sorts of encouraging things about our economy? And if so, what's your position on it?
Well, a number of years back, the EU Commission issued a proposal on common consolidated corporate tax base, which is an initiative whereby companies that are currently taxed on the basis of where they're resident instead become taxable on their profits on 3 different factors: assets, labour and sales, and those factors are weighted equally. So if the EU succeed in introducing a common consolidated corporate tax base, that could have detrimental effects into the future on the state's revenue, because it could erode the corporate tax base.
Okay. All right. Just a quick point. I just thought I'd ask because I have a funny suspicion that it's going to be back on the agenda sooner rather than we think, because I think the French and Germans are looking at our economy. Many economists are commentating on how well we're doing. Even Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands, would you believe, in May during President Macaulay's state visit, Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands praised Ireland's resilience in the face of the recession. And I think that if we do come out of this sooner rather than later and ahead of other countries, Merkel and Sarkozy may be tempted to say, you guys are doing okay now. We can get you to increase your corporation tax rate.
We'll invite her over to live here for a couple of years, and she might change her tune.
She might. We'll see. We're going to be back with presidential candidate Sean Gallagher after a short break.
Coleman at Large on News Talk 106 to 108.
This Friday, Movies and Booze continues its nationwide tour at the Glen Eagle Hotel in Killarney. If you'd like to join me for the show and be part of the audience, text MOVIES to 53106 at a cost of 30 cents. There are a limited number of places, so text now.
Movies and Booze, thanks to O'Brien's Wines.
The Glen Eagle Hotel in Killarney is where all the action will be this Friday.
Please enjoy sensibly. News Talk 106 to 108.
The Tesco Mobile Saturday Soccer Fest and Concern Kite Fest kick off in the Phoenix Park on Saturday the 10th and Sunday the 11th of September. It's a fun family sports day out, so come along, fly a kite, play ball, take on the world at the Tesco Mobile Saturday Soccer Fest. Sport Against Racism Ireland. Visit sari.ie.
Is it time for a new qualification to help your career? The Institute of Public Administration offers a wide range of part-time certificates, diplomas and degrees in many fields, including management, governance, finance, HR, IT and business. Whether you work in central or local government, healthcare, a state agency or the private sector, the IPA has a programme that meets your career needs. With flexible payment plans and blended learning methods, make a smart move this September. Return to education with the IPA. See ipa.ie for details or call 01 240 3600.
National Irish Bank customers expect more. That's why we've developed an innovative new smartphone app that gives you more. Unprecedented access to your finances wherever you are, day or night. You can transfer money to and from accounts, check your balance or pay bills, whether you're at home, travelling for work or on the golf course. Your bank is now as mobile as you are. Download the app for free directly from the Android market and App Store or visit nationalirishbank.ie for more information. National Irish Bank. Expect more. Danske Bank AS, trading as National Irish Bank, is authorised by the Danish FSA in Denmark. Terms and conditions apply.
Are less likely than women to talk about their health and less likely to seek advice from a health professional when they do have concerns. Blue September is about breaking down these barriers. Face up to cancer with blueseptember.ie. News Talk, proudly supporting Blue September.
Coleman at Large on News Talk 106 to 108.
Welcome back to Coleman at Large. We had a humdinger of a debate on debt forgiveness and stamp duty there, myself and Bill kicking each other in the shins as usual, but now something a little bit more serious and dignified. Earlier today, News Talk reporter Shona Murray spoke with presidential candidate Sean Gallagher. He was speaking at today's Let's Get Leinster Selling conference, which was held at the DCU Ryan Academy of Entrepreneurship, and she put it to him that our reputation abroad has been eroded by economic mismanagement, and she asked him what would he do to stir enterprise if he was elected president.
Well, I think we have to start where we are with what we have, and it's not about looking back. It's about, we owe it to the many thousands of young people who are emigrating to create opportunities for them to stay, or should they have to go away, that they have opportunities to come back to. It is about building confidence, and it is about building on the great work that Mary McAleese and Mary Robinson before have done. I don't believe for a moment that the President can't play an active role in that. And if you look at the Constitution, people say there isn't a role for the President. I say there wasn't a role for the President some 14 years ago in terms of building peace. But that's exactly what Mary McAleese did. Why? Because it was relevant and it was current. And she was building on her background. I want to use my background to attack the issue that is current and that is relevant and facing the economy and many individual households around this country. That's about unemployment. That's about emigration. And really, we need to put enterprise and we need to put job creation front and centre, so that I could work with hand in glove with every other organ of the state whether that's Enterprise Ireland, whether that's Tourism Ireland, whether that's the IDA, in order to attract investment, help trade and attract tourism to Ireland to sustain and create further jobs.
So what would be one of the first programmes that you